What's up everybody, this is Faisal Kamran and today I'm talking about the ongoing conspiracy theory regarding 5G and coronavirus. Here's what I will be covering in this video. COVID-19 and 5G conspiracy, conspiratorial worldview, and most importantly, let's debunk the conspiracy. Why 5G won't kill you? Clearly I'm not winning a singing competition. We will science the heck out of it. Number 1. 5G and COVID-19 conspiracy. A few weeks back, a post started circulating on Facebook which had, among other astonishing claims, God, they were annoying. The main claim was that coronavirus is not responsible for people's death, but it's actually 5G network. Have a look. Did you just read what he said? Coronavirus is not virus, it's 5G that's killing people. Sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face on that. The conspiracy was that the 5G network is being deployed by the government to control population. Initially, I thought somebody's pulling a prank, so I didn't pay much attention other than laughing it away. Then something very different happened. The endorsement for this idea started pouring down from media and in entertainment names like Lee Ryan, singer Kerry Hilson, Callum Best, and many others. Amanda Holden tweeted, allegedly accidentally, a petition against 5G. Before her, another chart-topping pop star Anna Marie also endorsed the idea and very intelligently asked, who the hell even asked for 5G? Could it be that she's just looking for the person because she admires him or her? Oh wait. Well, that clears it up. But I'm more interested in one of her followers who not only agrees that she has absolutely nothing to do with calling for such an abomination, but she goes on to explain her reasons for agreeing with her by saying, a very beautiful girl myself, being a humble fan of beautiful girls like yourself. Wait, what? Am I still awake? I think I got a bit carried away with that. And then another question during the lockdown. I really feel like she's searching for answers. On a serious note, these celebrities have power, and with the social media, they enjoy a far-reaching influence and impact. In this case, the impact became real, and the followers decided to take the matters into their own hands by not only damaging the critical infrastructure, but also threatening the engineers who are working on it. A woman called an engineer a murderer even, because for her, turning on that antenna was equivalent of killing babies and families. So much so that the government had to jump in last week to call it all nonsense. Help from tech companies was called upon to fight back this crackpot conspiracy. The irony is, these masks are being upgraded for the very people who are using this technology and fueling the conspiracies. It is much easier to look at these conspiracies as isolated events, but in 2019, a research revealed that over 30 million Brits believe in conspiracies. A survey last month in March 2020 revealed that about half of the population of Britain, about 46%, believe in conspiracies. Let's move to point number 2, conspiratorial worldview. The amazing thing is there are a number of theories which people don't like to admit openly. However, there are dedicated online groups and YouTube channels with online significant following for them. For instance, Flat Earth Theory pulls around 41,000 searches per month, just followed by Mandela Effect, which is around 33,000 per month. There's a theory doing rounds online that nuclear research experiments shifted the world into an alternative reality where Donald Trump became president. Go figure. You see, conspiracy theories are empowering. If you know that there's a small shadowy cabal of people orchestrating every significant event that you see, and you carry that information as an exclusive club, knowing that you have been able to figure it out, it empowers you. There's a huge scientific research community who has worked on understanding the mechanism behind the psychology and the reasons that make people not only actually believe, but spread conspiracy theories. If you look at the literature online, there are two main themes of those theories. The first one is the conspiracy theories with agendas and conspiracy theories without agendas. An example of a conspiracy theory with an agenda would be a politically motivated one. For instance, conspiracy theories that are intentionally spread to disrupt mainstream political interpretation or to use a narrative to gain minority status. Who can forget this one? And then this.
£350 million a week we send to the EU, which we will no longer send to the EU. Can you guarantee that's going to go to the NHS?
No, I can't.
The others, however, come from more deeper reasons embedded in us. For instance, some spring out of feeling of powerlessness, as vulnerable people are more likely to endorse and spread conspiracy theories. explanation of the least probable occurrences is the second mechanism. It is a coping mechanism to handle uncertainty. It absolves a person from the responsibility of critical thinking and understand a complex situation. Finally, conspiracy theories allow people to cope with threatening events. With the advent of social media, these conspiracy theories get blown disproportionately and have unintended consequences. Point is, there are some complex mechanisms behind this conspiratorial thinking. Sometimes there are some political and strategic reasons behind those conspiracies, but sometimes it's just somebody with a tinfoil hat in the basement. When a woman called an engineer an equivalent of a murderer of babies and families, I genuinely feel she must have felt intense fear or felt threatened by turning on of that antenna which that engineer was working on. And I believe that the reason such a fear stemmed was total ignorance on the matter. See, people tend to fear unknown, which creates panic and in turn results in stupidity and violence. Not that I'm saying that without panic we are incapable of stupidity, we all sure are. Now, as much as I disagree with her, and as a matter of fact with anybody who resorts to physical or verbal abuse, this time I find it unreasonable to just laugh it away and call them stupid. That spot is specifically reserved for flat earthers. They had plenty of time to turn around, and they didn't. So, in the spirit of education and enlightenment, let's begin our section number 3. Gone are the days when we used to light torches on mountains for signaling as a means of communication. Alright, I think Oscar's gone too. As nostalgic as it might be, today we have telecom and datacom, which refers to the exchange of information such as video, data or voice over long distances using electronics. Now, what enables the flow of this information is called electromagnetic spectrum. I have prepared an animation for my conspiracy theorist friends, and I have lovingly called it Why 5G Won't Kill You. First, let's answer, why are so many 5G posts being set up? We are surrounded by radiation all the time. If we map electromagnetic radiation spectrum, you will see a tiny portion of it which is visible to our eyes and rest is not. This visible portion is what we generally call light. We define it in RGB primary colors, but there is a range around these colors. The reason we can separate each of these colors is due to a fundamental property of each color called wavelength. When radiation travels, it travels as a wave, and the distance between two consecutive peaks is called wavelength, and we measure it in meters. Another way to measure it is in frequency, which means how many of these peaks can pass in 1 second. If we map the electromagnetic spectrum as a wave, we find that moving from left to the right, its frequency is increasing while wavelength is decreasing. Have you ever thought that how is it possible we can receive the signals from stars and galaxies which are thousands and millions of light years away? The reason lies in the fundamental property of the wavelength. With the increased wavelength, the radiation can travel a further distance. As the wavelength starts reducing or frequency increases, the signal's energy starts dropping as it moves away from the source. What does it mean for 5G? As 5G operates at a higher frequency, it will lose the signal strength much faster compared to 4G network. Those antennas, called repeaters, serve the purpose of boosting the signal and retransmitting it. 5G would require significantly more number of antennas compared to what we are currently using, and this is the reason that even in the lockdown, people are seeing the deployment of those antennas. Hope I answered the question.
A special thank you.
People who are threatened by 5G have mainly two concerns. First one, 5G is coronavirus. Second, 5G radiation creates harmful side effects for human beings. To say it upfront, this is unsubstantiated, but let's have our own fun and go back to the animation that we called Why 5G Won't Kill You. This electromagnetic spectrum is divided into different radiation categories like radio waves, infrared spectrum before visible light, X-rays and gamma rays. Each of these radiations is produced by different source around us. For instance, radioactive elements produce gamma rays. Even humans produce infrared radiation. We can compare the size of their wavelengths in a relatable way. For instance, ultraviolet rays, X-rays and gamma rays have wavelengths which are comparable to the size of our molecular structure and even subatomic particles. Here is the fun part. As the frequency increases or wavelength decreases, the energy of these waves increase. And as their size becomes comparable to our biological cells and atomic structure, they become able to deliver their energy to those cells and atoms. This way they can impact them. So on one side we have high wavelength and low frequency region with low energy, and on the other end is high frequency or low wavelength region with high energy. These are called ionizing or non-ionizing radiations. When people hear the word radiation, they immediately think of Chernobyl or a nuclear disaster. What has media done to us? Ionizing radiation? Bad. Affects DNA, destroys molecular structure, breaks chemical bonds in cells. Non-ionizing radiation? Not bad. Just relax. Almost all of communication happens in this band of non-ionizing spectrum. Our cellular network operates only in this small region within that communication spectrum. 5G will be using a slightly higher frequency region, which is only this tiny blue portion that I've highlighted. Now if you are scared of this, I recommend not going out in the sunlight, because you know where the frequency band lies for the sun? Here. In fact, sun emits a lot of ultraviolet spectrum. Most of it is absorbed by our atmosphere, and you still use sunscreen to protect yourself against it. I don't see people throwing stones at sun for that. In fact, if 5G is dangerous, then you are more dangerous than 5G, because you emit infrared radiation. Ha! Gotcha. In conclusion, to answer the question, is there a link between 5G and coronavirus? Nope. No. Zip, nada, zero. Coronavirus affects respiratory system and has nothing to do with electromagnetic radiation. Connecting viruses to electromagnetic radiation is like connecting chalk to cheese. Our network and connectivity is like our lifeboat as our ship is sinking. While brave people are working day and night to save our ship, damaging these posts is like poking holes in your own lifeboat. If you would look for false news, you would find it. And if you would want to believe them, you will find the reasons to do so too. But always do critical thinking before you jump to conclusions. Alright guys, hope this explanation saved some lives and gave some understanding to the matter. Please like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and let's grow the channel together. Till next time, keep learning, keep growing, stay safe, stop burning the post or doing other crazy things, and be kind. Bye.